Instead of rashly attempting to reinvent the Might and Magic Heroes series yet again, developer Limbic has taken a bold and safe approach by focusing on recreating the classic role-playing and empire-building elements that defined the series 15 years ago. And thus we have Might and Magic Heroes 7, a throwback to a time in gaming history when turn-based tactics ruled, manuals were thick, and cutscenes were primitive and terrible. Heroes 7 takes 1999's fondly remembered Heroes of Might and Magic 3 as its inspiration. It recreates the thrill of adventure and exploration from sending fantasy heroes into uncharted territory to gather resources and allies to do tactical battle with a variety of armies and monsters. In world exploration, Limbic adds one of the few new touches to the series in the form of cool little dynamic events, such as ogres toppling bridges. In combat, heroes bark orders from the sidelines while casting helpful spells, and the tactical challenge comes from strategies such as blocking weak units with boulders or backstabbing more powerful foes. You'll also find disappointing animations during the combat and a buggy camera with a will of its own, which is a shame since watching battles play out is normally where a big part of the fun from the series lies. The interface strives to simplify what's always been a complex type of game, and it works well in features such as the 2D interfaces for towns, which allow you to choose how to progress through the skill trees. Elsewhere, there's the intuitive progression wheel for heroes as they level up and choose from a wide variety of skills, such as leadership for battle bonuses or improvements to exploration. But for all of its nods to the old-style gameplay, Heroes 7 didn't inherit its inspiration's sense of personality in menu screens and maps. It's also stuck with Ubisoft's Uplay, whose overlays seem to cause slowdowns on my PC. There's no tutorial system even though there are plenty of gameplay options. It's just assumed you already know everything from the campaign itself to duels in online, LAN, or hot seat multiplayer matches for as many as 8 players. That even extends to the single new combat action of flanking, which adds a bonus to damage if you're behind or beside an enemy. It's not hard to pick up on the basics, which is good, but there's no real manual to read up on. In that way, Limbic seems to have designed Heroes 7 as a fan's game to a fault. Heroes 7's 4-part story is cleverly framed as a new leader seeking inspiration from the tales of legendary heroes, which we get to act out. It helps make each contained roughly 5-hour campaign feel complete by themselves, and the widely different settings allowed by the leafy elves and the brutal orcs does much to offer variety. It absolutely falls flat, however, in the cutscenes representing the main story. All of the key figures sit dead still around a table as though they were wax figures in a museum. It's a little creepy, and it doesn't help that much of the dialogue is just whining about not wanting to be king. And on a few occasions, I hit game-stopping bugs that required me to restart from an old save. There's very little that's new about Might and Magic Heroes 7, and that's a good thing when it comes to its classic-style tactical role-playing exploration, combat, and menus that make managing resources easy to understand. It manages to scratch a very old PC gaming itch, at least, between the awful cutscenes. For more on Might and Magic Heroes, stick with IGN.